We're developing proprietary electric off-road vehicles that are superior to anything on the market in terms of durability, off-road capability, and customer experience. Our electric off-road vehicles can operate indefinitely off-grid when charging from renewable energy. I'm John Powers, and I'm founder and CEO of Superpowers Mobility. I just returned to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania after 4 years at Tesla, taking the Cybertruck from concept to production. And I think Pittsburgh is the perfect environment for a deep tech startup like Superpowers Mobility. We've chosen the utility task vehicle market to go into, UTV for short. Maybe you're not familiar with UTVs, maybe you're more familiar with ATVs. UTVs are the largest, fastest growing, and highest margin segment of off-road vehicle, and they have the most commercial applications. By choosing the largest segment of off-road vehicle, we can repurpose our R&D to serve the larger power sports market, which is about a $40 billion market, growing to $50 billion in the next 5 years. We have 3 distinct customer segments with unique strategies. We have recreational customers, we have small businesses, enterprise, and military and defense. All of these customer segments experience the same issues. Combustion powertrains lack reliability in these vehicles. There's high level of pollutions in terms of CO2 emissions, spent oil, and noise pollutions. And electric vehicles would solve all of these, but there is a lack of electric options in the market. The broader market has showed indicators that it's moving in the direction of electrification. These multi-billion dollar existing manufacturers all have dedicated resources to electrifying their products, but they've outsourced R&D of their powertrain technology. Polaris recently invested $60 million in Zero Motorcycles for R&D of the powertrain of their off-road vehicles. Another startup, Vulcan, just received $100 million in pre-orders for their electric UTV. And over the past 10 years, $632 million has been invested in electric off-road startups. However, the strategies of these companies are flawed. They all promise to do a vehicle right off the bat, which means years of cash burn before you make any money. You have to develop the programs. That's the exact reason why SPM is going to be successful, because we have a strategy that makes sense and gets us to market in less than a year. We're focusing on IP ownership of the powertrain, bringing it all in-house, and we're actually developing an EV conversion kit for the millions of combustion UTVs in the worldwide fleet, which allows us to get to market in less than a year with less than $500,000 invested. We can then roll that momentum into a ground-up powertrain development and vehicle development, which gives us the flexibility of either selling direct to consumers or licensing our IP to some of the OEMs. This strategy has actually had a lot of traction in the past 6 months. We've raised $170,000. We have an ongoing partnership with an OEM, and we are in contact with 3 government contractors that upfit UTVs for government use cases. This might sound ambitious, but this has been my life for the past 20 years. Growing up in Western Pennsylvania, I've owned every type of off-road vehicle. I was an ATV and a UTV designer at Honda Power Sports, and also was one of the lead mechanical engineers on the Tesla Cybertruck. The founding team is equally as credentialed as me. Every member of the founding team actually started their own company developing one of the subsystems that goes into the powertrain in our vehicle. So this is the dream team, handpicked. And we also have an ex-Polaris executive who believes in what we're doing and think it has a lot of potential. So who's ready to build the next off-road vehicle brand here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania?
Is there an issue in terms of overlap of existing EV charging capabilities with the markets where UAVs are used?
So right now, there is a lack of charging infrastructure for off-road vehicles. We're designing our vehicles with Tesla NACS charge port, so you could use the supercharger network with our vehicles, but that's actually an adjacent market we plan to service in the future, is to set up these charging infrastructures at the largest trailheads in North America.
And given that, where do you see, who are the early adopters going to be in terms of the retrofit? Like, what is the use case that you're targeting there?
Yeah, so we actually have multiple segments who want to retrofit. Right now, the most prospective has actually been UTV upfitters for the government. So you have these partners who buy UTVs, they fit them with autonomy, hardware and software, and then they sell them to the government. They're actually interested in our EV powertrains because it's easier to control, it's easier to maintain the powertrain, less maintenance, no noise pollution, and there's no heat signature. So it's a lot more stealth capability for the military.
When you think about your design targets and the functional spec, like what's going to differentiate you in your powertrain product? Are you trying to be the longest range, the most rugged, the quietest? What is the advantage?
So the way to make an impact in this market, you have to go in highest performance. You really have to get that virality aspect so that you can leverage the network effect, get people talking about your products, doing reviews on your products, partnering up with social media influencers who have millions of subscribers to get in front of the eyes of the right audience. So we're really just, with electric, it's easy to be higher performance than combustion. So that's kind of the easiest thing for us.
I guess, where's your IP? Like you're retrofitting, I assume you're using existing lead acid battery packs or maybe NMC if you're going high power, but your innovation is going to be on the powertrain and the motors, or where is it?
Yeah, so our innovation's on the full powertrain. So we have IP in the battery pack. It's an in-house design. We're going to have IP on the drive unit. So that's the motor and the gear train combined. And then we have the embedded software and the controls for the whole system. And then in the future, we'll have some power electronics IP as well. This strategy has been seen to really attract the OEMs who want to outsource their R&D in the past.
And then for the manufacturing of those, are you using like a Jabil or a Flextronic? Like what's your process to making these powertrains?
So to start off, the conversion kits, we'll probably make them in-house, but we've been exploring contract manufacturers.